Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Tales from the Midnight Diary, and boy do I have a tale or two to tell you this week. Welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Gemma. I am the dyer, designer and tutor behind the Midnight Diary, from which this channel and podcast series take their names, and I am coming to you every Sunday from my home in Kent, where I live with my husband, our 2 cats and our puppy, who at the moment is asleep, but I just had to re-record the start of this because he started very enthusiastically and noisily licking his nethers, which none of you needed to hear, much less see. So we've started again. Hi, welcome. My husband just suggested I include it on a blooper reel, but I think that would not. No, I don't think you need to see that. I think it's bad enough that I've mentioned it and you are now probably imagining it. Let's move on, shall we? So here on this channel I have my weekly podcast, which you have stumbled upon, where we chat about all things crafty, and I absolutely love getting in touch with all of you, catching up with you, finding out what you're all making. And we also have other video series as well, including 2-Minute Tuesdays, kind of does what it says on the tin, longer length tutorials and more topical vlogs as well. But you are here on a Sunday, so let's catch up, shall we? If you are a new viewer, a very warm welcome to you. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for your patience as I took last week off. So we've got 2 weeks worth of content to catch you up on. Yeah, it's been quite busy. There's been snow, there have been finished objects, there have been objects that have been frogged, there have not been any new cast-ons. What? I know. So yeah, it's been a very strange couple of weeks, but let's dive in with the creative content because I have an FO to show you, of which I'm rather proud. Ta-da! Here it is. This is the Palma Shawl. I'm trying to hold it in the best way to show you the gorgeous lace against the cream of my wall, because this is actually not blocked. This was cast on the Sunday afternoon, I think, after I last podcast, and then I worked on it pretty much solidly on Wednesday and Thursday, and I finished it on Thursday night. So it really didn't take me very long at all. This is from that wonderful book I talked to you about a couple of episodes ago called Easy Lace Knits by my all-time favourite lace designer, Anniken Allis. I'll drop the link to both of those things below, to her designer store and to the book. But I cast this on in my own hand-dyed yarn. This was a sketchbook colourway. As you can see, it's all blues and a few grey tones in there, really beautiful. And it's on my brand new base, which is 50% Superwash Merino from a non-mulesing source and 50% Tencel, which is this really fascinating new fibre, or newish, which is an alternative to rayon. And in yarn is a good alternative to nylon and to silk for strength, but also for the most gorgeous luster, which I'm not sure, obligatory Gemma hair in the project, which I'm not sure the camera is picking up, but it is the most lustrous, gorgeous yarn, and I just had to cast on. So I had an odd skein that didn't make it into the shop, and I cast it on, and this is the result. I've not really done lace before. I was determined to master it, and I figured Easy Lace Knits was a great place to start, and I couldn't have been more right, basically. It was a fantastic shawl to work with. Lots and lots of garter stitch to show me a kind of teardrop. It's almost like a teardrop construction. It's not quite a triangle, if you can see. And it's got this lovely, gorgeous weight to it. It calls for a 4-ply yarn, and it actually used 400 meters, and my merino Tencel base, because that Tencel is a little bit heavier, actually only has 333 meters. So I did decide in the end, I think I could have got away with it, but I did decide to make this little bit a few rows shorter. This is actually 22 rows of garter stitch instead of 26. That's maths, that's 4, isn't it? Yeah. And it's got this gorgeous picot edge, which is great. So why is this slightly heavier? It's because Tencel is actually fantastic fibre made from crushed wood pulp from sustainable sources. So if you are looking for something a little bit eco-friendly, then Tencel could be a really, really good start, a good option for you. It's the weight of it means that this isn't even blocked and the lace is open and beautiful, and it just hangs absolutely beautifully. I really should either hold it still and talk to you like this, or just put the thing down. I just couldn't stop making it. I could not stop making it, and I loved the book. I found the pattern really easy to follow. There were new techniques here for me. Anniken uses the cable cast on, which is the cast on I typically use. It's the first one I was taught, and I do have some tutorials for cast ons coming onto the channel soon. I've already done one for the Picot cast on, so I will put a link to it there and in the thingamabob down the bottom as well. But this also used a new to me cast off. Now I have done a Picot cast off before, but this is a Picot cast off combined with a Russian bind off, which actually makes for a really springy, stretchy edge, which is great for blocking, because sometimes people can tend to cast off quite tightly, and you've got this nice open fabric that you block and it opens out beautifully. Just look at that, bing, bing. And then your cast off is tight and it doesn't want to let you block it off properly. But yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I found the tutorials in there, the picture tutorials for what to do, really easy to follow as well. So a 10 out of 10 from me, Anniken. Go you, girl. So I have literally been showing this to everyone who has the misfortune to spend any time with me on Zoom. If you are watching this and don't know, I host a sip and stitch night on a Wednesday evening and a coffee morning on a Sunday morning. Everyone's welcome. So just drop me an email, links down below, if you would like to come and try it out. There we are. So yeah, I'm going to take it off because I'm roasting. It is an absolutely gorgeous spring day, or I should say it was. It's actually now getting dark outside because it's gone 5 o'clock in the evening. I am cramming this into the last little bit of the day because it was so glorious and balmy and sunny and wonderful that we just made the most of it, and we got out into town and we got a bite to eat, and yeah, it's been a lovely Sunday. So I probably would do with this now, this evening, but I'm indoors and it's been nice and toasty. So there are a few skeins left of my Merino Tencel base in my web shop, which is just, by the way, thank you so much. I had my first shop update on the 8th of February, so the day after the last podcast, last time we sat and chatted, and wow. It just, wow, thank you. I couldn't believe it. To sell out of the Galactic Minis and several colours of the Merino Tencel has just blown my mind. It's absolutely crackers. Thank you. And what's been really lovely is the messages I've got from people as they've received their parcels, because the luster isn't really picking up on camera. It doesn't really pick up even on the photographs I took, and I'm really careful with my photographs. And when people actually get it in their hands and squish it, I mean, you can see, can't you? Like, look at the squish factor. But yeah, so there are still a couple of skeins in the shop at the introductory price that you can get your hands on if you so desire. The next shop update won't actually be until the latter end of March, but I'll talk more about that at the end. But yeah, that is my completed Palma Shawl. I can do lace. The next thing I've got to not show is a half object. I have been designing, as you know, for the March cozy boxes, my little quarterly subscription boxes. I say subscription, you opt in each time, so it's not a rolling subscription, and you get a mystery skein of yarn, and you also get a pattern, knitting pattern and a crochet pattern to do with that yarn, designed specifically for the theme of the box. And I can't show you. I've done the crochet pattern and I'm really proud of it and I would love to show you, but I can't because it's a mystery. So if you want to see it for anyone else, then you either need to do one of two things. You either need to sign up to be a tester for me because, spoiler, you're testing the mystery ones, or you need to actually sign up and grab yourself a cozy box. They are available for one more week and there's lots of info on my website about that as well. So a finished object, a half object. What have I been up to then in all this time, in 2 weeks? My whipboard is looking a little bit thinner. As you can see behind you, it's looking a little bit svelte, a little bit thin on the ground. What has happened? Well, I have, don't judge me, this is really hard to say, I frogged things. Yep. I frogged things. So, first off, you might recall that I was talking about the longest, oldest whip, which has disappeared from my whipboard. It's no more. It's no more. There was a sad ending to the oldest whip. That was due to turn 20 this year when I turned 34. And I did say I would not allow it to become a 20-year-old whip, and I haven't, but not in the way that I was expecting. I really thought I would finish it. So I finished my shawl and I got this top out, this pattern, and I'll be flashing some pictures up because I don't have it to show anymore because it's gone, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. The feel of the yarn, just, it really wasn't nice. It was 20-something-year-old acrylic, and I have nothing against acrylic, but this has not aged well. The years have not been kind to this particular project. And I wasn't enjoying the feel of it. And so I asked some friends what they thought I should do, and you know, there was a school of thought. Part of it was like, well, just get it finished. Part of it was, well, are you enjoying it? I was like, no. And there was a chance I wouldn't have enough yarn anyway, because I was sure I'd knit the front and the back of this sweater. Otherwise, why would I knit the back and then go onto a sleeve? That makes absolutely no sense. So I was talking to my friends back and forth. Then in the end, the decision was made for me because I noticed something. Yeah, my gauge, it's changed in 20 years. Who'd have thunk? So I have frogged it, and that has left my whipboard. There is also another gap noticeable in the middle of the whipboard. So there were two projects there, and now there are two that are not there. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I have been working on the other one. It is not a finished object. But my darlings, I have been making what can only be described as a Snozzcumber. I present to you the Snozzcumber.
It's rotsome. Well, it's sickable, yeah.
It's really bad. This was the Circle of Friends shawl that I had been but I'm a terrible test knitter and I'm not doing it anymore. For Hohi Locatelli, I was really excited. It's a beautiful, beautiful shawl, but not in these colours. These colours do not want to be this shawl. Julia keeps singing, ho, 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 Green Giant, for any Brits who remember Green Giant Sweet Corn. And the thing is, once I decided it looked like a Snozzcumber, I couldn't unsee it. And so last night, having worked my socks off all week, because I think I was about there last time. So having worked my socks off all week to get the last row of bobbles done, and to start on the green, ready to do the band at the bottom of the shawl. Do you know, I'm just going to show you the pictures of the shawl from Hohi's pattern because it is really beautiful. It's beautiful. It really, really is. Here's the pictures. So you see, it's lovely, it's kind of romantic, it's like a latte, it's got all these, it's called Circle of Friends, and you can imagine that is the perfect frothy coffee latte cappuccino with friends giggling, you know. Oh, it really tells a story. And then you get the Snozzcumber. So I've whipped it off of my board, and Julie was like, you've got to take loads of pictures. I'm like, no, I don't want to take pictures. She's like, yeah, because then you can find them in a year and I can laugh. Thanks. Friends like that, hey? No, honestly, Jules is amazing. But we were looking at it last night. I was like, it's a Snozzcumber, isn't it? She's like, yeah, it's a Snozzcumber. For those of you who don't know, I'm hoping that there have been some little cartoony bits up the front, but for those of you who don't know, the Snozzcumber is the only vegetable that grows in giant country in Roald Dahl's story, the BFG, and they are disgustorous, they are vile, they are rambunctious.
It's a taste of slime, wanglers and cockroaches.
All these made up words that he uses to describe the loathsome, filthsome Snozzcumber. But yeah, which was an animated film that came out in 1989, and it's just really stuck with me. There has now, I think, been a live action one, but yeah. I won't come off the needles! I'm trying to have a cathartic frogging moment and it won't. Ah! Ah! I take the needle off. I take the tip off. This will work. Ah! Nah! No! Ah! Will come off. I will get this thing off. Ha! Right, so it is being frogged. You are seeing, ladies and gentlemen, the demise of the filthsome Snozzcumber. I do want to work with these yarns. I love them. They are my own hand-dyed yarns and I think they're beautiful. However, this is a classic case of wrong pattern for the yarn, or wrong yarn for the pattern. So I need to figure out what these are going to grow up to be. They probably won't grow up together. I think I'm over the idea of grubby goldfish with hops, to be honest with you. I'm not going to carry on doing this while I'm chatting to you because it's a bit distracting and complicated, like really complicated, because there are bobbles and all sorts of things going on here. And also, like the grubby goldfish, it's one row and then you break the yarn. So I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm gonna have like lots of little scraps here. The reason this isn't frogging is because it's got my hair in it. My hair's wrapped around the yarn. It's like, no, I'm holding on to you. Yeah. Anyway, end of the Snozzcumber. Oh, so I don't know what those yarns are going to grow up to be. They do want to be something, they just don't want to be that. I also really like that pattern and I love all of Hohi's patterns. I don't think I've seen one that I don't like. I probably haven't seen all of them, so maybe, but the ones I've seen, I think they're pretty cool. But yeah, they just didn't want to be the Circle of Friends. So my whipboard is now looking a little bit thin on the ground. It's very bizarre. If you're new to this podcast, go back a few episodes. There was a cast on party 2 years ago and I think that really was my downfall. I decided that I would give up casting on for Lent, and we are, surprisingly enough, in Lent now. And my friend Ellen was very keen to support me on this, and you must check her out. She's Kellogg Check Ellen. She is a hand dyer and maker of project bags and they are amazing. But yeah, she was like, I really want to support you on this, so let's have a cast on party and really scratch the itch, so then you will never want to cast on again. And I've got to be honest, I woke up the next morning effectively with the yarny equivalent of a hangover. I never ever wanted to cast on another thing ever again. Now the difference between Ellen and me is Ellen went on to finish all 12 or 13 of her cast ons, and most of mine have now been frogged. I think the granny stripe is the one, yeah, that's it. The granny stripe is the only one on there, and I'm not sure I finished any of them. I think I've frogged almost all of them. Yeah. That said, that is not all the creative content I have for you this week, because I have mini swatches. So people who've seen this podcast the last couple of weeks will know that in my shop update I had the Galactic collection debuting, but with a difference. It was debuting as mini skeins, or as someone this morning called them, space balls. So my space balls sold out. They were really popular, my space balls. Sorry, I'm such a child. They sold out like that, which just blew my mind. I've actually opened them pre-orders, but when I made the big skeins into the mini balls, I actually weighed them and found all my skeins of yarn, the 100-gram skeins, to actually be overweight. Some by sort of 5 grams, some by 10 grams. So I had these extras. So what did I do? Of course, but I swatched with them. Now these are so fresh off the needles that they haven't been blocked, so they are a bit curly, but I just had to show you. So let's start with the first and the original. I'll put a picture up on the screen as well. This is Galaxy, which was the first one of this collection I dyed, and you can see the inspo photo there as well, inspo photo. And this is the knitted swatch. Isn't it gorgeous? I just love it. I'm trying to encourage it to focus and not on me. Yeah, so it's purples and blues, and the tweedy neps from the Donegal neps just really suit it. And the thing is, tweedy yarns, you might think that they're a little bit itchy and scratchy, but these neps are so soft, and the yarn itself, Superwash Merino, is just like butter kittens. It's gorgeous. So yeah, so there is that, and I actually have a sweater's quantity of this to make a sweater from, but I actually have a problem, because I also want a sweater in Orion's Nebula, which, as you can see, again, purples and blues but with flashes of pink. Picture of Orion's Nebula up here as well. But I can totally see a big slouchy jumper in Andromeda. Here's the inspo photo. And here is the swatch. Do you know what? This one was really hard to capture the lights and the brightness of the red sort of flashes within. It was really hard, but I'm really thrilled with the results there. You can really see like the bright red, and there's some flashes of pink, and the creamy grey. Oh, love it. But I also kind of like Comet. Here's the inspo photo. And here is the swatch. I just adore it. I want all the things in this. I want a weekender, I want a mama vertebrae, I want a harvest cardigan, I want everything. It's just everything. But not only that, but for the crocheters among you, I have little crochet swatches. So I mean, this one I managed to do a lot of trebles, but I also managed to make an almost 2 round granny square. It doesn't want to focus. Hide my face. No. Same with Orion's Nebula. That just, I mean, I think that looks amazing in crochet, to be honest with you. I really love it. And Andromeda. Comet was the only one that I haven't yet got a crocheted sample out of, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back these few rows here. I cast it off and make it a little bit smaller to see if I can get a crochet one as well. I'm going to do that this evening while I'm editing the podcast, so that you guys can have ideas. Now, why am I doing this if the mini skeins, my mini space balls, sold out like that? Because, guys and girls, after much clamouring, there was genuine clamouring for me, for little old me and my little space balls. so excited. I've opened pre-orders. I decided to open pre-order listings because they are a lot of work. They weren't something I was going to offer again. They were going to be a one-off, but there were a few disappointed people. So if you are interested in getting your hands on a set of my galactic spaceballs, it just sounds worse, then do head over to my website. They are there, they are listed, and it's lovely. So that is that. The final thing I've got to talk about is my 100-day project. I have been doing that with gusto. People who follow me on Instagram will know that I have the 100-day project Mark II, which is to do a rather large, rather involved, rather intricate cross stitch. It's by Heaven and Earth Designs, and they are full coverage cross stitches. There's no white space. It's really tiny, really detailed. I think there are 90 colours in the one I'm using at the moment. And it's a grey and white cat on a green background with pink flowers. 90 colours. And I have been working super hard. I've been making sure to do an hour a day or 2 hours every other day on that. And so I'm tempted to put together a little slideshow for you now to enjoy of the progress. So yeah, I'm really loving doing that cross stitch. It's definitely going to take more than 100 hours. It was meant to be for my boss's 70th birthday, which was last September. I missed that. And when I missed it, I just thought, meh. And also it was dark and it was winter, and you have to have a really good light for this because it's on such fine count Aida. If you've never done cross stitch before, it's actually incredibly simple. It's just making crosses on specially created fabric. You can do it on linen and even weave as well, which is even finer. But Aida at least gives you a guide as to where to stick your needle. And they could be as simple as little keyring things or as vast and complicated as the one I'm doing, or there's one that Ellen's doing, which is after a work of art. And there's one that I really want to do, a Thomas Kincaid one for the future. I'm not going to show that now because that is very much a future project, but I adore the paintings and artwork of Thomas Kincaid, and they have a whole Thomas Kincaid section on their website. It is definitely not the cheapest way to do cross stitch because of so many colours needed. I think this one cost me about £70 for the threads for the silks, and I paid another £10 for the Ada, and I didn't actually manage to get all the silks I needed. And then if I have it mounted and framed, that's probably going to be another £80 on top. So it's definitely not the cheapest way to do it, but there are also some fantastic indie cross stitchers out there. We had an informal make along in the Project Bag Club last year after my lovely friend Eva suggested it. I'll put the name of the cross stitch designer down there, and also I suggest you hop over and check House of Langford podcast hosted by the lovely Maddie. She is an avid cross stitcher and she has actually finished her cross stitch from our indie maker. We did lots of make alongs last year during lockdown, and we are thinking pretty much of running most of them again. So I've had a little look at the isolation along hashtag. There are some bits and bobs there, and the vanilla along hashtag. And it's been a while since we've had a calorie, copyright Caroline have done it, but pinched. So why don't we have a little look at that, and then grab yourself a cuppa and let's catch up for a chat. I absolutely love seeing what you guys are doing, and it's continued with the wonderful community we've got in the Project Bag Club and with Sip and Stitch and Coffee Morning. I absolutely love it. If you've got any suggestions as to what I can make instead of my Snozzcumber yarn, drop them down below. So, tales from the Midnight Dyery. Well, I've already talked a bit about my shop update, which was super exciting. That went really, really well. It absolutely blew my mind. There's a joke in the Sip and Stitch groups that every time I say I'm so excited, they're going to drink. And this morning at Coffee Morning, it was obviously Sunday, and it was before 12 o'clock. And they were like, no, please don't do this. It's too early. I'm sorry. The other thing that's been decided is that apparently I say sorry too much, because I kept saying I'm really excited. And when I was talking about the mini swatches, my mini spec balls, I kept going, I really like it, I love it, oh my god, I love it, I love it, I love it. And I was tooting my own horn, and so I kept apologising. And there's been a suggestion that I need a swear jar, but with a difference. It's for when I say I'm sorry without needing to, and the penalty, the thing that I need to put in the swear jar, it's been suggested that I put mini balls, and then it got even better when someone then suggested, yeah, and then you have like a giveaway at the end for all the minis. So I think I might do that. What I might do is get myself a jar that can sit here, and you can see week by week how full it gets with minis as people in the club and the groups and joining in with my lives can keep tabs on me and make sure that there are minis in the mini ball jar. And we'll have a nice big giveaway at the end when it is full, basically, which, judging by this morning, won't take very long. So I've ordered more of the Merino Tencel base. There are going to be sweaters quantities of that going into the shop in the shop update, which will be towards the end of March. I'm actually looking at it being the 22nd of March, which I believe is a Monday, so a month from today. It's a little bit longer this time, but yeah, I want a bit more time to get ready. I've got lots of exciting things going on. There are also a couple of patch bags left, and I'm thinking about lots of new colorways. So there's going to be more mini balls, there's going to be full-size skeins of the Galactics, and yeah, more Merino Tencel, some sweater quantities going in there as well, which is very exciting. Yeah. What else has been going on at the Midnight Dyery? Well, we had snow. We had snow here in England, well, all over the country, all over the UK, but we get very excited about snow. I have a friend, Nele, who is, I'll put the name of her podcast down below. She's doing the Raiding Whipbox make-along for 2021. And unfortunately, I'm not really qualifying at the moment because I keep throwing my whips away and frogging them rather than finishing them. But hey, you know, go for it. It's a great make-along to be involved with. And she was just sort of sat there, sort of benevolently smiling at us, talking about our snow, because it started on the Sunday. And the little man here, Magnus, really got excited about it. He wasn't sure about it when it was first falling, but then he got quite excited and did the zoomies and just loved being out in the snow. He was out in the garden so much. And considering he is a puppy, a dog, I should say now, that if it's raining in the back garden, will demand to be let out the front and then refuse to go out the front and give you a look of absolute disgust when you haven't switched the rain off. When it's raining out both doors. What is this? He really loved being in the snow, and we had so much fun going on lovely walks with him and running through the snow together, and it was just really lovely and really exciting.
Max. Come on. Carefully does it. We don't want to fall, do we? Come on then, bring. Absolutely beautiful. And we're up here and we've got to somehow get down. Okay, I think if we push on this way, we should, with any luck, come to the bit where this path joins up. Okay, and we go. I feel a bit bad because the snow is completely undisturbed and I walked right through it. But it is beautiful. Utterly beautiful. Oops. Basically crunching my way through a bramble thicket at the moment to get to. Oh, the other side. Don't think you believe I was doing this out. Proper adventure at this point, but look, here we're on the other side of that tree now. Okay. So have we done it? Have we come up to the field? Yes. Look. Magnus. We're up at the field. There we go. Alternative route through the snow, only fell over once. And he is one happy puppy. He's loving it. Oh God. Magnus! Come on in! Good. Hey, clever boy, come on in.
yeah, I got a few interesting looks when I took my knitting out on walks as well. I have this fantastic, it's Alan's, I've stolen it, but you know, we're married, right? They've got this fantastic Animal brand hoodie, which is waterproof, but it's not bulky, but it's got this fantastic, like, I keep doing this and it's like, it's got fantastic bosoms. No, it hasn't. It's got a fantastic Joey pouch type thing, which fits everything in it. And I thought, I wonder, and yes, it does fit my knitting in. So I also did some knitting when I was walking around. I don't think I've got footage of the latest sock I was working on, but certainly my dad's rainbow sock. My dad's rainbow sock has been received. He really likes them. Bit worried about washing them. I keep telling him, don't worry, it's fine. But yeah, yeah, he's definitely very knit worthy. And my little honorary nephew is very, very excited about the prospect of another sweater for his birthday this year. You might remember I knit the Humbug hoodie and I got the most adorable picture of him looking very, very proud to be 5 and in his own hoodie. And he is totally knit worthy, and so I'm going to make him a jumper again this summer, but I think I'm going to do it entirely in hand dyed yarn because he is a very knit worthy little man. He was out somewhere and someone said to him, I like your jumper, and he said, thank you. It was made for me. It wasn't bought in a shop, it was made for me. And I was like, oh, you're adorable. When his mum told me that, I was like, okay, you can have all the sweaters. I'll totally knit for him. Have you got anyone particularly knit worthy in your lives? I'm really excited by how much hand knits and crochets are being appreciated these days. I just sent off a hand crocheted cardie that I didn't crochet. Linda crocheted it from the yarn dispensary. I finally sent it off and I got a gorgeous picture of my friend's little girl Evie wearing it, looking so cute. Yeah, and it's just nice. It's nice that people are appreciating it and getting back into it. And I'm tempted. It's my mum's birthday on the 23rd of March. It's her 60th. She loves blues. I'm really tempted to send that down to her. I don't know, but it's just a bit gorgeous. But then if I send it down, then I won't have it, and it's like, so I'll have to make another one, basically, or something different. Yeah. So who do you knit for? Because I used to knit a lot of baby gifts and things, but I now kind of predominantly knit for myself, and certainly in my own hand-dyed yarns, or any hand-dyed yarns for that matter. But I'm definitely branching out. It's really exciting. Oh, drink. I also want to say a huge and heartfelt thank you on behalf of myself and my husband for all the kind wishes that you sent us for Lara's birthday. It definitely wasn't easy. It was definitely different to previous birthdays. So I think we've all got that in common, haven't we, at the moment with lockdown. But we do a craft every year to honour Lara, and because we want to do something actually practical. And this year we chose, and I can't say it, pyrography. Yes, basically burning wood. Burn things. So this was my first attempt at it, and I'm really pleased that it went so well because I've got something exciting to show you, but I'll just show you what I made. So this is a coaster with snowdrops, the flower we associate with Lara. And this is actually the snowdrop image from Lara's legacy logo, the logo I had created by Amy of Sorella Designs. She actually donated it to us, which was amazing. And it had Lara's legacy in this font across over the top. So I've just pinched the font. The R's gone a bit squiffy there. But I had so much fun. It was really lovely to do. Yeah, it was snowing on Lara's birthday. We woke up to an extra 4 inches of snow. So we went on some lovely snowy walks and came home and drank hot chocolate and did this. And I'm really enjoying it because I can't show you the one I did for the cozy boxes because the exclusive Midnight Dyery Coaster, I don't know if I've shared this, but they're actually going to be made by me. And they are going to be pyrographed, burnt basically. I've designed them, I've done the first prototype, and in the post are these gorgeous wood slices with, it's not gonna, no, gorgeous wood slices with the bark around the edge. Now these are not perfect circles, and my design is a perfect circle, so this could be interesting to try and do. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. So everyone who's ordered a coaster will get one of those burnt. I'm just going to say burnt in the post, and I'm actually going to film the process as well, so there will be a vlog about burning wood for beginners. That will be coming soon too. And guess what, I'm excited. I can't help it, folks. I just can't help it. I am quite sure that there is at least half a dozen things that I have forgotten to mention today, and I'm going to be editing this and absolutely kicking myself. But do you know what? It's been nice to sit and have a chat with you. It's been a bit of a longer episode, I think, as well. So I'm probably going to wind it up here. The final bit of news though that I absolutely had to share with you is that lots of you know that I work for the Yarn Dispensary, a yarn shop in Faversham, and I have started a podcast with my team there. But we also have a lot of single flock yarns, so the yarn is produced from a single flock local to us, and we know the provenance of it, we know the names of the animals whose fleece have gone into the yarn. And at Longcroft this week it is lambing time. The lambs are being born. It started on Thursday night, I think, 2 o'clock Friday morning, and so far, as far as I'm aware, my phone hasn't flashed, it may have flashed during this, there are 6 lambs, 3 ram lambs and 3 ewe lambs, and we are sharing those videos over on the Yarn Dispensary Facebook page, etc. But Ali, the accidental shepherdess, wants some help in naming them, because she's got 2 ram lambs and 2 ewe lambs still to name, because she has actually named Lottie's lambs Longfellow. He's a big ram lamb, he's humongous, he's absolutely gorgeous, and he's got a very weeny little sister who she's called Lara, and that is just lovely, just lovely. So yeah, if you are into all things sheepy, then I suggest you get yourselves over there and have a look at that, because also I've just been commissioned to dye some of the yarn. I'm so excited. I mean, this is Tales from the Midnight Dyery, right? So this is what's going to be happening in the Midnight Dyery over the next wee while. So the fleeces, last year's fleeces, have been cleaned, they've been scoured. Ali's done them all herself. She sent them off to the mill Friday morning, and so they'll be back in about 6 weeks' time. Some of them being dyed at the mill, and some of them are going to be dyed by myself. And it's just such an honour. Ali rang me and she said, look, can I commission you as the Midnight Dyery to put some colour on these yarns? And I was just like, yeah, yeah. So yay! That will be sold through the Yarn Dispensary. It's not something that's going to be available in my shop, but it is definitely an exciting honour to be asked to do. And they're the most beautiful yarns. I think we've gone for 4-ply this time. So yeah, and there's other things going on in the dye pots. I'm going to be doing some more dye sessions, live dye sessions over the coming weeks, and show you how I dye my plant-based yarns. And yeah, and these came out of the dye pots. Remember, I want to show you the prize. Maddie named blackberry picking, whoa, look at what it's doing to the light. Maddie named picking blackberries, and I said, well, what do you want to choose? She won 2 skeins of yarn recently from me. She won 2 little competitions, and so she said, well, can I have both of them as Tropicana? So I'd lost the recipe for it, and it's not one I'm bringing back, so I dyed these up, and she actually really likes them, which is good. But they were really lovely, and I had 2 skeins left, which I just used up some dyes with, and they've created these really nice, almost like, I don't know what to call these ones. I'm not going to be doing a giveaway for these, but in the shop on the 22nd there are going to be lots of one-off or 2 off sock skeins, because I haven't dyed sock yarn yet under the Midnight Dyery moniker, and I really want to. I think it's going to be really good to have my merino nylon base, so got a little bit of that as well. And the stamps arrived, my custom stamp, and I've got lots of other news to share with you, but you need to sign up for my newsletter if you want that news, because I'm giving away a crochet pattern in there, as well as my recipe for banana bread, which is pretty good. Yeah, the only other thing I've been doing recently is having a bit of a digital detox, which has been just fantastic, taking less time on screen, less time scrolling, and I've been so much more productive as a result, and I'm also sleeping a lot better. But yeah, I'm going to carry it on for another 30 days. I think I'm doing a 30-day challenge, so I'll fill you in a bit more on that next time. But I hope you've enjoyed hearing about all the things that have been going on at the Midnight Dyery. I look forward to hearing what you've been up to down in the comments below. Do set your timers, your alarm clocks for the 22nd of March, and over the next few weeks I will be sharing some more things with you. The cat has just now come in to start stealing the dog biscuits and is crunching them really loudly, and there may about to be a bit of a fight. So I'm going to head off and head that off at the pass, and I will say to you, have a very lovely week. Stay safe, stay warm, stay woolly. Take care. Bye.